My name's Frank Emanuele. I've been with Modelcraft for about 15 years, I would say. Right now, I'm kind of just in charge of research development, really much apprentice training. Now I enjoy a lot of the changes that we're doing. The fact that enabling a lot of the people on the floor to really get involved more with the actual work that they do. Before it wasn't really like that. They were like just robots. Come in, push a button. Now they're all learning, which like they should be. They're learning, how to machine stuff, why this is like this, and using their heads and come up with an idea of how can we change it. You're at the machine, let us know what you think. So they like that we let them kind of, give us their input on stuff. No matter how green they may be, I always say you learn stuff from everybody. Nobody knows everything. I said, this trade you're learning all the time. I've been in it for over 40 years. I'll learn something from somebody who's just been in it for a month. I'll be like, wow, what are you doing? I know you can do that. That's pretty cool. So we use a lot of that. But that's kind of what I like about it now, how it changed like that. Much harder. Like I said, I was only been here for 15 years, which I had my other job for 30, so I kind of came in here knowing what I knew. I'm more on hands with dealing with the employees now than I was before. So as far as how you talk to people, how you listen to people, I didn't do that before, but I've done it ever since I've been here, which is kind of cool. And the teaching part, I've only done that here. I didn't do it before. I said, so that part of it actually made it seem a little better as far as, on my perspective, I got a little knowledge of how everybody else thinks instead of how just I think, I'm not always right. I said those guys have good ideas, but it changed me in a way like that, dealing with the employees. We can do a recent one for a job that we've been doing out there that nobody likes to run. It just ran crappy. There was dust involved. It was kind of a dirty type of thing, and everybody just kind of did it all these years. And in the last, say, month or so or two, we really decided to focus on this job and say what we can do to clean this up and make it better. Once again, we designed new fixturing where we're doing it now 8 parts at a time and not 2. So you're not in that machine for a long period of time. The machine's running on its own for maybe 30, 40 minutes. We invested in vacuum systems to hook up to this certain machine that keeps the dust down, the smell down. All the guys chipped in. Everybody had their own opinion on it. Right up until assembly. How can we put this part together? The person assembly would complain about how they had to put all these little PEMs in there and their hands hurt. And I got together with my apprentice and says, this is what we're gonna do. We can't do all 8 at once. We're gonna do 4 at a clip. And we made a little die fixture where they load the parts, the PEMs in there, and it just comes on clips, and they're knocking them out probably 5, 6 times faster than they ever did. And that was just recently. That's one of many. We've been kind of doing that with a lot. We focus on it one at a time. Let's change it. And Rich has quite a few more he wants to do, Let's look at this and let's change them. But that one part there, I think, is going much better now. To the fact that how long I've been doing it, I kind of know a lot about how everything should be kind of machined. I know a lot of times the customer I'm dealing with probably engineers for the company. And engineers, they know their stuff when they're going to draw a part. My job is to make that part a reality. That's where I come in. I will tell them, what you have on this paper can't necessarily come out like the way you think it can. We have to do certain things to get it there, and is it necessary and stuff like that. A lot of times they'll say, well, you tell us what you think, you could do. And that's kind of like, what I do. Or I'll talk to the engineer and say, listen, we need to change this to make this work for you and make it easier for Modelcraft to manufacture this part for the cost that you actually want. I tell them all the time, we can make whatever you want us to make. Depends on how much money you want to spend, though. Is that really necessary, to do this like that? Manufacturing's been changing over the years. It's getting to be more CNC motivated, more computer technology, more heading toward the robotic side of things, So I would probably say you really need to actually probably take some courses leaning toward that direction. A lot of people come in the door and they want a job and they just really know nothing about that stuff. I says it'll really help you out a lot. The job itself is a well-paying job for the right person. If you take some different classes and you learn a lot of stuff and you can move up and handle the hard parts like that, it's a good trade to get into. It's actually, like I said, it's a I've seen a lot more females get into it lately, which is kind of cool. I had one apprentice, this girl Heidi. I taught her to be a toolmaker, and she got really good. And there's a reason why they call them journeyman's papers, because once they get good, they journey. They go to another company. You know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, we have apprenticeships, and I always say that. My job is to teach them to be so good that they can go wherever they want, but it's the company's job to make sure that they don't, that they stay here. And we just hired a young lady. She started Monday, and she's never did it before, but she seems like this whole week she really liked what she was doing. So I see a lot more women coming into the trade that never did before. Now, the younger guys, I would say it's going to be here for a long. You're going to have manufacturing for a while, and like I said, it is a pretty good paying career for a lot of guys. You know, that instead of working in retail or something like that, this is a good job to do, and it's not dirty like it used to be. Like sweatshops and stuff like that, those are gone. It's mostly cleaner, which if you've walked through there, you're seeing we're getting it a lot cleaner than it used to be. I kind of welcome them in here. I really wish more would come, but a lot of kids aren't coming out of the trade schools into this trade. A lot of them aren't. I hope the state actually pushes more manufacturing things to help these guys do this, because like I said, it is a good trade for them. But we'll see how that goes in the future.